Hi guys, today I'll be talking about why learning is difficult or hard, right? Okay, so I've got 6 reasons that I've written down, but there might be more reasons out there. I'm just going to talk about the 6 reasons that I've put over there on the whiteboard. So let's get started. Reason number 1, prerequisites. Now, to learn something new, you'll have to know the prerequisites or the underlying subjects before you learn the new topic. So what I mean by that is you need to learn the basics before you learn the more advanced stuff. For example, say you're learning maths, say you're learning trigonometry, algebra, or say a little bit advanced calculus, right? Now, to be able to learn those topics, you need to know the basics. So you need to know your addition, you need to know subtraction, you need to know multiplication, you need to know division, and so on and so forth, right? So if you miss that, you're not going to be able to do the more advanced topics because you don't understand the easier topics, right? And the advanced topics build on top of that. So that's prerequisites. You need to know the basics, right? A lot of the things people learn and try to learn, they think that is fairly difficult, or you need to be a genius, you need to be really smart. You don't have to. You just need a lot of time, a lot of patience, and you need to know the basics before you go to the more advanced stuff. Knowledge gaps, right? So knowledge gaps is where you jump too ahead and then you have bits and pieces in your knowledge that you're missing. At certain stages, learning becomes more difficult because you're missing those pieces of knowledge. So you need to fill those in. You need to learn from the bottom up instead of the top down, right? It's kind of like a house, right? When you're building a house, you don't make the roof first. You make the foundation and then the frames, and then on top of the frames, that's what the roof goes on top of. So there's structure, there's order to things, right? So you need to know, basics first before the more advanced things. Okay. Reason number 2, persistence. Now, even if you do learn the prerequisites and the basics, learning something from scratch, learning things new, generally takes a long time, right? Malcolm Gladwell has stated that it takes you around 10,000 hours of practice to perfect a skill, right? So 10,000 hours on average is around 5 to 10 years. That's fairly long, right? Now, that's 5 to 10 years or 10,000 hours is what professionals, experts, or athletes, that's how much hours they practice to get to the state that they're in. But that doesn't necessarily mean that you need 10,000 hours just to learn the basics of something, right? So you do need persistence to be able to learn something for that long. Now, if you just give up, right? If you learn something for a couple of days and you just give up because you think it's hard or you think it's difficult or you're not improving, then you really need to practice patience, which is the next reason number 3. So to be able to be persistent, you need to be patient, right? And no one is patient at the very beginning. You have to practice patience, right? Getting through a whole book takes a long time, depending on how fast you read. Some people might take them a day, some people might take them a week, some people, if they're slow readers, might take like a month or so, or some people only read a book once a year or don't even read a book because they don't have the patience to sit down to flip through pages and read, right? To be able to learn something, you need to be patient. Now, learning is difficult because people are impatient, because people want the instant gratification of, oh, I want to learn things now, or I want to have this now, I want to do things now, I want to have things done now, right? You have to learn patience because things don't just come straight away. They take ages to build, and it might take years to build a skill, right? Okay, reason number 4, the reason why learning is hard, reason why I put down physiology, right, is, so physiology is basically the science of how the mechanism of life and how does our internal organs work, how do we work, right? That's the study of physiology. Now, why do I add this in? Because to be able to learn effectively, you need to be healthy, right? You need to have the right nutrients and fuel for your brain to run perfectly, right? So your physiology has to be perfect running order to be able to, for you to be able to focus, right? Now, if you're feeling sick, if you don't have the energy, right, to learn because maybe you didn't have a really good breakfast, or you didn't really have, you ate something with high amounts of sugar, and then you had a food coma, and you started to feel sleepy, and then you couldn't focus on what you wanted to learn. So physiology is as important as anything else when it comes to learning, because your mind has to be in tip-top shape to be able to absorb things. So you need to have enough oxygen run into your brain, you need to have enough nutrients run into your brain, and when that's impeded, then it disrupts learning, right? So that's the reason why exercising is important. That's the reason why eating healthy is important, because it improves, you know, the circulation and nutrients, the circulation of oxygen and blood, right? And the nutrients that go to your brain, right? So you really need to take care of that side of things, the health side, you know, make sure that you focus on your health first, because the analogy I like to put it as, your body is like a car, right? Now it could be a Ferrari, right? You can drive from places to places really fast, right? But if it doesn't have any oil, engine oil, like the friction of the cylinders will make the engine break down a lot faster, right? If you don't have fuel in the tank, you're not going to be able to run the car from point A to B, because you have no fuel. So you have to have some fuel in the tank before you can move the car. What I'm saying is, to compare that to your body as a person, you have to have the fuel, you have to have the energy, and you have to have the right maintenance for your body to be able to learn efficiently, because if you can't, then it's going to be a lot more difficult, right? Okay, reason number 5, procrastination. Now, it's okay to procrastinate once in a while, because maybe you're just relaxing and maybe you felt burnt out and you needed to recuperate, right? That's okay, because procrastination is a symptom of an underlying problem, right? Procrastination happens when, say, you're feeling too tired and you can't be bothered learning stuff or doing stuff, so you procrastinate to something that's much easier, right? So procrastination is basically the short-term gratification. People want to be rewarded straight away. So because learning things takes a long time and you need patience, right? Some people aren't willing to wait, and they want something to be done now. They want to achieve something now. So they procrastinate, because that procrastination, say, if they're watching movies, going on social media, playing games and all that, doing entertainment stuff, once they do that, right, it gives them a satisfaction of a short-term accomplishment of some sort, or it gives them a dopamine rush, right, that learning is supposed to give you after you finished, or after you've learned that concept, right? So because you get that satisfaction straight away, instead of getting that satisfaction in the long term, people are so used to getting the short-term instant gratification, right? So what you have to do is you have to learn how to delay gratification and practice delayed gratification, because delayed gratification is the key to having more patience and having persistence, right? So that's how you improve that. Okay, so you can have all these things, but if you don't have the motivation or the intent, or in other terms, if you don't have a goal, if you don't have an intent that you want to achieve, right, then you can't just force yourself to learn something, because if you just keep forcing and forcing and forcing, then the result is going to be not fruitful, because again, the foundation isn't there. The foundation of motivation that needs to motivate you to achieve something. So if you are motivated, say you want to improve on something because you see it as a good development, self-development, or it has a greater purpose, that's the reason why you're learning it, not just you're learning it because someone told you that you have to learn it, right? So you have to have an intent, and if you have an intent on the reason why you're learning something, that makes it so much easier. But the reason why it's difficult is because most people just learn things just because of learning things, right? So, okay, so that's the 6 reasons why learning is difficult. If you miss one of these things, then it tends to make learning a lot more difficult. But these aren't the only reasons, there's other reasons as well that I haven't covered. So yeah, hope you like the content that was shared to you today. If you like this video, put a thumbs up. If you want more videos like this, subscribe down the bottom. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video.